Do you guys know that one meme where the guy and the girl are walking together and the guy is slightly distracted by a more attractive woman, and then the woman that he's with is all like, why are you looking at her? I mean, yeah, you probably know of that meme, but you're probably thinking, what does that have to do with today's video about Funko Fair reveals? Well, Day 2 was totally so much better than Day 1, so let's get right into it. And don't get me wrong, Day 1 was pretty sweet, especially with Demon Slayer, but I think that Day 2 definitely blew Day 1 right out of the water with the different reveals. Kicking off Day 2 reveals, we have ourselves an abundance of Disney 100th anniversary pops. Now, I'm not going to talk about all of them because of the fact that there's just so many to discuss, but I'll talk about a bit of some highlights, like the glow-in-the-dark pop from Encanto. That's pretty sweet. I mean, I wish it was a glow-in-the-dark pop of Bruno, but at the same time, we don't talk about Bruno. I know a lot of people were really hyped over that Aristocats 3-pack. I mean, I don't blame them. All 3 pops are flocked, and I think it's characters we've never gotten in pop form before, so I don't blame them for getting excited over this 3-pack. And one thing that really intrigues me about this brand new set of Disney 100th pops is the Carl and Ellie moments. And you're thinking, but it's just another Carl and Ellie moments. I know that, but at the same time, this confirms that Pixar will actually be a part of this Disney 100th anniversary set, since I originally thought it was just going to be Disney itself. Now that we have this reveal confirming that Pixar is going to be a part of it, there's a chance that we can actually get some cool Toy Story pops, Monsters Inc. pops, even Pixar movies that don't get that much recognition, like A Bug's Life, as a part of this 100th anniversary set. And this Carl and Ellie moments proves that we could be seeing stuff like that down the line, which makes me more excited about this Disney 100th anniversary set, since considering you can see on my wall here, I'm a huge Toy Story collector. And then there was also a train set of Walt Disney, and the first thing when I thought about seeing this train set is that Walt Disney looks like Top Pop's grandpa, not gonna lie. Next up, we have ourselves a die-cast Mickey Mouse, which of course the chase is all silver. I understand with the majority, maybe all of the die-cast pops we've gotten so far, of how it would make sense to make those characters die-cast, but I have no idea how it makes sense for Mickey Mouse to be die-cast, in my opinion. I feel like a character like even Buzz Lightyear would have made more sense because of his space outfit to be a die-cast pop, which Funko, please don't make that, because that's just another Toy Story pop I gotta go and fork up a lot of money for, especially if there's a chase involved. Next up, we have ourselves Reuben with grilled cheese from Lilo and Stitch, which will be a Books A Million exclusive. This pop is awesome, and that's mainly because it's finally a character from Lilo and Stitch that isn't either Lilo or Stitch. It's something completely new. We should have got this last year in 2022 because it was the 20th anniversary of Lilo and Stitch, but I guess it's better late than never that we have new characters coming out for Lilo and Stitch. Next up, we have ourselves the Gabriel Iglesias Jack in the Box pop that actually released today as we're recording this video, which, I mean, this is all right. I don't see why they have to keep making more Gabriel Iglesias pops when for the Comedians lineup, there should be more pops being made. Like, I would have been more happy if we had gotten our 3rd Jeff Dunham pop instead of our, like, what, 9th or 10th Gabriel Iglesias here. Now we are going down the Funko Soda realm, kicking off with Dr. Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park, Andy Dwyer from Parks and Recreation, Batman from the 60s series, Steve Harrington from Stranger Things, and Padme Amidala from Star Wars. And these sodas, like, they're okay. They're not the greatest, though. I think there definitely could be some improvements with a lot of these sodas, especially with Ian Malcolm, where he's injured on the leg. Why is he standing up when he has an injured leg? And then you got Andy Dwyer, where I believe they could have made a completely different sculpt for the Common, and then keep the Burt Macklin version, which is what both the Common and Chase are based off of, as the chase itself, just like what they did with Ron Swanson, where it's just regular Ron Swanson, and then we have the Snake Juice Ron Swanson for the chase. The Batman, I'll give it a little bit of a pass because it is a different molding with the Common and the chase, and it's a different color swap for the head. And then Steve Harrington, all they did was just add the yellow gloves and then glasses to it, instead of making a completely different mold for the Common and then making the chase the same way that they have it here. And then Padme Amidala kind of ticks me off because this was already revealed back in, I want to say September or October of 2022, so we already knew that. Why did they have to re-announce this announcement? Next up, we have the 4th of 12 pops for the upcoming Captain America Civil War set, and it's of Black Widow. Last week we got Black Panther, now we got Black Widow. I wonder if Day 3 we're gonna get another pop for this set? That's to be determined, but I mean, I like the character of Black Widow, so I'm not disappointed about this reveal. But it was very expected for eventually her to be announced. Next up, we have pops for the Disney Plus shorts of I Am Groot, along with a 3-liter soda and a bunch of mystery minis. This is a little meh. I feel like the hype has died down for this series, considering that it came out back in August of 2022, and that's about 6 or 7 months ago at this point, so I don't really know how many people are talking about this series at this point. It should have been released then, but I am excited to see how that 3-liter soda turns out, and especially, I'm always glad to see mystery minis still continuing. Next up, we have a pop deluxe moments of Meek, Korg, and Thor from Avengers Endgame. Now, this is not too bad. I do understand why they made this moment, but I feel like making it a deluxe moment is I feel like the price point is not going to be well, especially because all the deluxe moments you get like 3 or 4 characters, but in this case, you're technically getting 2 characters with a buddy because Meek is in the tiny form, so I feel like you're kind of getting ripped off with this deluxe moment when you have 2 full-size characters and then you get a tiny one as kind of a pop and buddy there. Next up, we have the comic book version of Thor for the Avengers collection. That will be an Amazon exclusive. I enjoy the way this pop looks. I think this is an excellent looking pop, especially with the way they did the cell shading and how they pulled off the Mjolnir and how it's spinning in his hand. I think they did a great job with this. I do like this actually better than the Iron Man one that they announced. I can't wait to see what the rest of the set looks like. Next up, we have a huge set of one-piece pops with various common pops and various exclusive pops, along with, I believe, some minis. This set is insane. When I already thought that the Demon Slayer pops from last week had such insane molds and detail, this really just put it top notch right there. These one-piece pops are just absolutely insane. I can't believe how detailed each of these pops are, whether they are commons or they are exclusives. Like, I'm even looking at like the Galactic Toys exclusive version, and I'm like, holy crap, that's insanely detailed. I mean, I feel like the 4-pack is probably the biggest letdown because it's just repurposed commons from the set, and especially the glow-in-the-dark pop was, I believe, a pop from the last wave of One Piece pop, except it is a glow-in-the-dark pop, which Funko is known for doing the last couple of years, is just slamming all of these common pops and then adding one glow-in-the-dark pop to kind of make it worth it, but it's not really at the same time. That's the only letdown about the set, but the rest of the set is absolutely amazing. Next up, we have a TLC Pop Deluxe albums of Ooh on the TLC tip featuring T-Boz, Chili, and Left Eye. This is a little meh to me. I mean, I'm not entirely a fan of TLC, but I do appreciate that they are getting some sort of pop albums of sorts, so I mean, if you're a big TLC fan, you're probably going to want to get this pop into your collection. Next up, we have ourselves some pop puzzles, which we got ourselves SpongeBob SquarePants and then Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, I'm not really a fan of puzzles to begin with. I think they really irritate me, especially when you're trying to find the piece and it takes so long to do. I mean, I guess 500 pieces isn't entirely too bad. I know there's always a bunch of like 1,000-piece puzzles and those take a long time to do, so I guess 500 pieces fair. I probably won't be getting these, but I do think that there is a decent amount of people that will end up getting at least one of these, especially the SpongeBob one. Next up, we have ourselves a pop comic covers of Hawkeye and Ant-Man for Avengers, which this will be a Target exclusive. This is not too bad, and I do enjoy the fact that you're kind of getting a pop and buddy involved with this, where it's Hawkeye and then you have Ant-Man on the tip of the arrow. I do enjoy that, and hopefully with this comic covers that they don't add a bigger price point because you're technically getting another character with it. I hope it's being treated like a pop and buddy and you're still paying the same price that you normally pay for a pop comic covers. Continuing on with pop comic covers, especially for Marvel, is Wolverine, which this also will be a Target exclusive. Now this one is alright. I kind of like the common pop comic covers better that they did of Wolverine last year, more than I like this one, but this one's still pretty decent, a cool version of Wolverine. It's basically copying the front cover where you do see mostly his face, but this would have been a perfect time where possibly they added a mouth to this pop, because clearly with this cover you do have some sort of grinning face. I don't know why they couldn't add it to this pop, since that's basically the main focus of the cover itself. Next up, we have ourselves some Funko soda figures for What If, which we have ourselves the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, Zombie Iron Man, T'Challa Star-Lord, Strange Supreme, and the Frost Giant Loki. Now these aren't too bad, and I noticed with these, like a lot of the Marvel sodas nowadays, nowadays they are no piece count sodas, which is a little bit iffy. I mean, it's cool if you can walk into your Walmart or Target to get a Funko soda now, but at the same time, what made Funko sodas unique was the fact that you can only find a certain amount of them. Now Funko can easily reproduce these as much times as they want because of the fact that there's no piece counts. Which I do like the Spider-Man one. The Zombie Iron Man is a little bit meh. I do have the Captain America, which I do like much better than this one. I might get T'Challa Star-Lord, not gonna lie, because I do like T'Challa. And then the Doctor Strange Supreme also looks pretty cool with the glow-in-the-dark aspect and a slightly different mold. And then Frost Giant Loki, did it need to be glow-in-the-dark? Maybe, but I felt like they could have done something different with that soda.
2 hours later.
Alright, so now the camera's off the tripod because I had to go record what would be the newest edition of a Funko Popcast. So now I'm going to talk about the My Hero Academia Pop Deluxe sets, where we have Kirigiri and Dabi, which I think these are pretty decent, and I like the idea that they are specialty series exclusives because they will be more easily accessible at your local comic book store. And I can't wait to see the rest of the set involving the rest of the League of Villains, because that's basically what that's based off of. And then we have 2 more puzzles of Ted Lasso and Jurassic Park, which I don't really have much to say. I basically said my opinion of puzzles when I talked about the 2 previous puzzles. And then the last pop announced for Funko Fair Day 2 was Vic Rattlehead from Megadeth, and I do enjoy this. I know that there are some bands that don't get the proper licensing, so they can't make the band members, but I do enjoy when they do the mascots, like they already did that with, obviously, Eddie from Iron Maiden. We had Knucklehead from Five Finger Death Punch. Now we have a pop with Megadeth, and I'm sure a lot of people are excited because I know of a lot of people who have been wanting Megadeth pops for a long time. It's not the band members, but at least we have something so far. Anyways, guys, that's it for day 2 of Funko Fair 2023, and I will be doing one last coverage video next Thursday talking about the 3rd and final day. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, but I'll see you guys in the next video. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.